Hello and welcome to the MODversation, modification conversation. As promised, back to the car show. And it's all the little modifications and everything I've done and the first walk around and the story of how I bought the car. So yes, it was on Craigslist. I saw it on Craigslist. Here's me looking at it for the first time. And as you can see, it was so filthy, right? It was absolutely dirty. It was so filthy that I couldn't even really see that it had a sunroof, and it didn't have any GTI badges. I put those on. It had no red bat accent badges. It was just filthy, and the bumpers had cracked paint on them, and the bonnet looked like it was replaced. So here's that video. So yeah, here's me, with the stack of papers, all the receipts. And it truly is a beautiful car. So here's me in it. I bought it. I fished this thing out of the center console. The lid. It's the lid to the ashtray, or the little, the accessory port. Yeah, and then the first modification that I had to deal with was, so that was the walk around video. That was me seeing it for the first time and buying it. The first modification I had to do was the windshield wiper fluid pump, because when I was buying the car, the guy told me, "Oh, by the way, the windshield wiper pump doesn't work." So one Saturday when I had nothing else to do, I I opened it up, so I opened the hood, and inside the hood there are these little panels. Inside the panels, you can see what's going on in there, and as you can see from this video and these pictures, the little hoses that the water travels through weren't connected. And so what I had to do, and then you can see these contacts for the electrical part of the whole spray system were corroded and not plugged in. So I reconnected the hoses and I plugged back in the contacts. And then as you can see, the pump was in sad shape, pretty sour shape. So I bought a new one, as you can see here, and put it in. And then as everything was, so I reconnected the hoses and I cleaned the contacts for the electrical and I plugged them back in, everything, and then the hoses were plugged back in, and then put everything back together, replaced that pump, and this is what happened. Yes! I did it, everybody! I fixed them! I did it! Yours truly. I have my first video. So that was the first modification that I did. As you can see, it was a complete success. And then I was bitten by the bug for sure. So the next thing I wanted to do was add a red accent, because it has that red pinstripe, right? So I wanted, someday I'll paint the calipers red, but for what I wanted to do immediately when I first had the car was get the red accent badges. So the front grille badge and the rear grille, the one for the rear on the rear hatch, it was missing. So it had three badges and it was missing a fourth. So I thought that'd be the perfect symmetrical place for it. Was bottom left where there's a blank spot. So I measured it all out and everything. And then the front grille badge was easy because it came as a set on eBay. And I was really impressed with how it came just together in the set. The front grille badge has a bracket on it. And so what I did was I placed it, where I wanted it, and made some marks, and then I got the Leatherman out with a serrated edge knife, and I gently by hand, because it's a plastic grill, so I was able to sort of drill by hand in these holes, and then because this was a bracket with screws, so it turned out terrific. And so with this one on the front and then this one on the back, this is, as far as the second one to present to you, that was my favorite one. So yeah, and to this day, they both look brand new. They survive all car washes. And over time, I was able to get the rear thing, the rear one, because you can move it around when it gets hot. And so, if you wave it with the heat gun, just wait for a hot day. I moved it into perfect place so it looks symmetrical. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite modifications. And now we're to one of my favorite ones again. I mean, I guess they're all my favorites, but this one was one that I immediately wanted when my buddy got his Audi, because Audi comes with a door courtesy light with the logo displayed. So of course I had to do the same thing, right? So Amazon had a pair of these that came really fast. They were like $14 for the pair. And so I used Gorilla Tape instead of what comes with it is not good tape. So don't use it. This 60-pound Gorilla Tape or 70-pound Gorilla Tape, I love it for everything. It's fixed a bumper crack it's still there. This bumper crack is still being fixed by that tape. And until I can get it off and give it a proper plastic, welding repair, that tape is holding. So I replaced the whatever came with it tape with this Gorilla Tape, as you can see here. And it comes with a little magnet, which I also Gorilla Tapes to the door frame thing where it passes by. And I think it looks great. Let me know what you think. This is the next modification I have to show you on this list of many modifications. The next modification I have to show you it's the rear console. So it's, you have the console that comes down that has the armrest. So behind that is the rear area, right? So there's an ashtray there, and under that is just nothing. But in the UK and European models, it came with a cup holder. So it came with a cup holder that pops out like the one on the front console. So I ordered this from eBay, and so I added this modification. It's my European UK cup holder for the rear console that comes factory in stock, I believe, across the pond. But in the States, I don't think it did come with that. So I really haven't seen them anywhere. So I got one, put it in, and here it is. This is what I was going to feature in part 2 of the Richard Hammond Sleeper Car Challenge, but I'm going to do it right here, which is all the little travel things and the little modifications I made to the Mark IV Golf that makes it a Mark 4.5. So it's a little adapter that plugs into the cigarette lighter accessory port in the center console. So it's a Bluetooth transmitter that you tune your radio to, and then you hook up your Bluetooth to your phone, and then you can play whatever. So I'm playing myself in a YouTube video. So I don't want to I don't want to get dinged with music stuff. It happened to me a couple times in my youth in this, and I just didn't like it. So I don't like to use music. So I'm going to play my own self, and I'm going to show you what I did to the car. It's the adapter which I got, and the Garmin sat nav. So here it is, one of my favorite modifications for travel, and it kind of makes it a modern car. No matter how many doors they have, I just think it's funny to use. See, it works. Now, this thing also has other USB ports, so I can power, I definitely have some red lights going on down there, right? So I can power those, or, I've got the Garmin. Now, refurbished and maps up to date. See? It works, and it's powered by that. And I still have an extra plug if I want to plug something else in. There's even a plug on the side of it. So I think that is a win, you know. Acquiring satellites. I mean, this thing was 50 bucks. And I don't need all the extra Apple Play and whatnot. I just don't. This thing works, and I just updated all the maps. Ready to navigate, everybody. So yeah, so that's the tech. You know, I have this wired up for some under, you know, LED lights down here. Let's put them all together. All right. So that thing handles everything. And I think there's still one on the side I can use if I wanted to. But I've got LED lights. I've got this thing ready to play things from my phone still. Oh, I turned it off, sorry.
Cracking me up.
See?
About Golfs and GTIs.
All right. So that is my tech for traveling. It's ready to go. I use the cup holder that pops out to hold it. I don't want to drill anything in the pristine dash or stick anything to it. And yeah. So yeah, that is all the tech I have so far in the car. The Garmin refurbished was about 50 bucks. The adapter was cheap. I want to say 35 on Amazon, if that much. And there were so many different ones. I think I chose the third cheapest. Right? And it's been working for a couple of years now. And the LED lights I got because Sloth Avenue, or the Avenue, he had some lights in it, so I had to do the same thing. So yeah, I've got LED cabin lights. I've got the adapter for, it's called ROAV on my Bluetooth, but I'll get the shot here for you of what it is, what I actually bought. But there's so many different ones. Choose the one that works best for you. And I got the Garmin. So yeah, everything. So the Mark IV Golf is Mark 4.5. Now this particular modification and restoration is definitely intricate because you have to take off the cover and then take the switch off from that. And then I had to repair something with Gorilla Tape, this little piece that was broken that the handle sort of clips into. So as you can see, it's very intricate and detailed. So it goes on for a little bit. But if you're doing this modification, I hope this helps you in some way. Make sure all the places where the clips go into, there's not a broken piece in there. I had to fish all those out, and there were many broken pieces in there. But the new replacement one comes with fresh clips. Then I had to clip two off that were too long. So look at it. All these aftermarket mods are great, but they always, for me, require some alteration. So please enjoy. Oh yes, I think that looks brand new. So that was a great modification, restoration. And so I wasn't driving my car very much because I live so close and work. I live close to work and I live close to a bodega that has all my groceries. So I didn't drive the car very much except for, weekend fun just to the golf course real quick. And so it would sit and then the battery wouldn't take long trips. So the battery that was, really old, finally my Die Hard died hard.
It's only 14 years old. They call that a die hard.
So I got to replace it with this modification is a red top battery. Not only does it match all the red accents and the cables, but it's had the best cranking power, and I'm really impressed with this battery. And it was the kind of situation where that's why I love modification when I'm at this age and this modern time, because it came to my front door with Amazon. It came right to my front door. And you know, for me, that was great. And so that's why this modification is one of my favorites, because it was just something I didn't have to go out and figure out how to go do. And I was sick of, I had one of these little NOCO, you know, booster packs, the basic model for 70, it's like it's 89 bucks or whatever. It'll start a lot of cars. This thing is really impressive for the small, it's like this big for like, and it comes with a light. So yeah, I've got a light for working on my car at night, and I've got a battery starter. But I was sick of using you. I was using it every time. So this modification is a new battery. Check it out. This quick little modification is how to put a strobing effect into your third brake light. For me, this is a safety modification, and I noticed that my LED third brake light, factory original from Brazil, 2002, was shorting out. So I was going to replace it anyway. And then I saw this modification kind of floating around YouTube, and it was like $7 on Amazon. So one thing led to another, and then please enjoy this modification, strobing effect, third brake light modification. So basically, here's the wires leading from your third brake light, and then you splice this thing in between the wires and where the power is coming from. So you snip it, and you can see, and it has on the strobe effect little relay. It has in and out of where you have to do it from. So it's very self-explanatory. You don't need many instructions. It comes with it, but it's just basically, it points to where the power comes from and where it's going out, and it goes out to the light. So it's very self-explanatory and easy to do. I've noticed that the two pins on the side that sort of hold up the cargo cover, there are these pieces of cable that come up, and they clip on to these sort of peg things that are disintegrated. And then I found that I had this pack of car bumper clips and whatnots. I don't know what you call it, but in this pack of everything, I found several different versions that work. And here's what I found as a weird DIY fix to this problem you might have. And these clips are so cheap and come in such of a wide variety of packages that you can find, an accessory car clip pack on Amazon like this one, and probably find something that will help you out. And then even if you're going to buy the factory ones, this might help you out in the meantime. So, and this little pack of clips has helped me before in a pinch. So please enjoy this weird hatch area cargo holder replacement mod. Here's an interesting modification for you. So in the hatch trunk, under the spare tire, there are these 3 holes, and there are rubber stoppers in place that disintegrate over time. And finding these things in a package were difficult for me to find on Amazon, and eBay would have taken some time. So I measured them, and it was 40 millimeters. And then I found these beaker stoppers, the scientific stoppers for beakers that were tapered. And so the top was 44 millimeters and the bottom is 37 millimeters. And so I realized that these would work, and it was literally next morning delivery on a pack of like 5 of these things. And I just needed 3. So I got it, and here's this modification. This is what I did. So yeah, under the hood, I'm trying to get the whole engine bay black and red themed. So I've got a plan to make the oil dipstick cover red and black. It's now orange. But so this is a modification I did to the Overflow radiator fluid to take it from that factory blue to the black and red cap. Check it out. So, no matter what car I drive, this always happens to me, where when I'm making a right turn from Alcatraz Avenue heading west, heading to Telegraph Avenue, traveling north, for some reason, the way that curb is laid out, that I always catch the back tire and bounce out a little bit. So when I'm making the right turn, I get kind of almost a drift effect, kind of bounces me out. But when I did it on this car, it was with that bad tire that I had. So when I bought the car, there was a bent rim. So I had that rotated to the back after they could barely balance it. And so I was going to get the tire replaced, but this happened. And what it did was it marked the tire and it took a chunk of metal out, because I think these tires are really kind of brittle. I bought a refurbished one to go on, and it's acting even more brittle. So, but as you can see, it looks brand new, and it is doing well. It just seems like I should replace all 4. But for now, here's how I replaced that weird rimmed tire. Here's how I replaced a bent rim. And as you can see, that refurbished wheel looks brand new and perfect. So I'm either going to do it 3 more times or just get a new set of steel rims that are black. Anyway, moving on, the next modification or repair, restoration, is my engine cover was cracked in half. So I just repaired it with one of those plastic welding guns. Please check it out. And oh yeah, one of my favorite modifications that I made, custom made, and this was a triumph for me because I had this vision and it came to fruition, is custom Clark Tartan seatbelt pads. I bought 4 just regular black seatbelt pads from Amazon, and I already had this Clark Tartan fabric, and I cut it out very, I measured each one, and I just made I cut a piece out and I trimmed the edges, I I just sewed the edges up, and then I fastened these kind of over the black seatbelt pad and kind of tacked them. And then so it's not an entire, it's just sort of a facade, but it looks so great. And this is something that I might start selling in an Etsy shop soon. So this is something that if you're thinking about, you want seatbelt pads and a little Clark Tartan accent, because for me, this matches the cargo cover now. So check out my Clark Tartan seatbelt pad custom modification. One for the passenger side, which is never there, and then 3 for the back seat one. So it worked out great. Next is sort of a failed attempt. I got a brand new armrest cover for the center console, little cubby area, but I wanted to Clark Tartan fabric the old one, and I did it, and I got it, looking great. And as I was replacing the new one with this one, the old one hinge broke. So as you can see, it was a great idea, something I might do in the future. But now, since I have so many other Clark Tartan mods, I'm going to leave it looking shiny and new. So here's a failed attempt, but also I replaced the old broken, well, it was just old looking. There was rips in it. In the old center console cover, which is now new, here it is. It broke off. What? Huh. Oh well. Still looks good though, right? Jeez. Oh well. Oh well. Tried. And this modification I haven't done yet, but I'm prepared for it, is just a fix I had to do one day when I was doing something and I kept hearing the hatch lock, unlock, unlock. It was just something was happening. And I realized that, as we all know as Mark IV Golf GTI owners with a hot hatch, that those hatch hinges, that those wires in there get open and closed a lot. And a lot of times you have to make a little repair. And mine were cracked, so I ripped them away and realized that, yeah, there were a few that were not connected anymore. So I made a repair, and I made plans to replace the hatch wire, make a little patch kit, for them, and then replace the grommets, the rubber grommets. Now you can buy this thing from eBay from a company called Metzger, and they make a replacement one. But every time I try to find one that fits my car exactly, it was like, doesn't fit your car. So my right side just takes 4 wires, whereas the left side takes 10. So what I could do is buy one of those things and try and match it, or just try and make my own. So I made a video of, I got right in there and I've counted each one. So I need 10 of different kinds for the left and 4 for the right. So as you can see from this video, and you can make a comment, leave a comment. Do I just buy you know, 2 of the ones from eBay and just count how many are in each one and just make sure. Do I alter those? Just sliding in my, you know, to make up for how if something's missing or, you know, there's too many. Do I alter the ones that I can buy from eBay to make it easier? Do I just create my own, which I think is even more easier, which I think is even easier. So here's a video and footage of my plans, and you can comment and let me know what you think. I'm not going to clutter it up with a bunch of narration. You can see what I'm doing here. Thanks. This next modification I'm actually very excited about because I think it's going to be a winner. So my headliner is sagging just in the corners of where the driver and passenger sit. There's some areas near the visors, which are just, they've had wear and probably some heat. And so they're sagging a little bit. So I thought I'd have the idea where, get this, I fill an industrial syringe with clear Gorilla Glue, which dries clear. I've seen it. And I make a small nick into the old headliner, tiny razor blade nick. And I take that syringe filled with Gorilla Glue and I sort of get it up in there and feel around and just sort of get, you know, just gently apply glue in there. And then use a balloon sort of blown up to keep it in place and use the visor to clip it. So that keeps, and I tried it out and it will work. So this prototype, I'm hoping will work because it's about to turn cold, and with every temperature change, more things can happen. So this is a modification I just dreamed up, and I'm going to show you how I fill the syringe, and it's industrial. You can buy them from Amazon, just industrial syringes. And so I tried it out, and you can see that when the balloon gets pulled away, you can see the glue still, but that's going to eventually, I believe, turn clear. If it didn't turn clear, it's because I think it pulled some oils from the balloon, from the rubber of the balloon, which the balloon didn't pop. I was able to get it off. I thought I filmed it, but I just got the button wrong. But you can see at the end where you can see it's still there as far as where it's soaked through to the headliner. But I think over time it will turn clear. If it doesn't, I'm going to try a different glue. But I think this will turn clear eventually. I liked the balloon keeping it in place. I did have to loosen the balloon when I took it away, but it didn't break, and I think it did pull oil. So that's might be the only reason why it won't turn clear is it got oils from the balloon, or it's dirty up in there, so it might just have soaked dirt into the glue. So enjoy this modification. I enjoy dreaming it up for you, and it's how I'm going to end all of this. So I'll touch base with you when it's all over. All right. I'm gathering the tools for repairing the headliner. I'm going to use this after hard to see, but up here, I'm going to pierce it with a razor blade. I'm going to use this that I made the other day, which is a syringe filled with Gorilla Glue. So I'm going to get this up in there and dab glue up in there. Then I'm going to use this balloon to sort of keep it in place while it's drying. Let's see how it goes. All right, so can you see it? I think you can. All right. All right, let's. So I'm going to let that sit overnight, and hopefully that will fix it. This visor will keep the balloon in place, right? So the visor keeps the balloon in place, and the glue is gluing the headliner back in place enough to keep it taut everywhere. So I don't have to glue everywhere it's loose, right? I'm just gluing where it's most saggy, right? And then I have the balloon in place, and I have the syringe in there, right, filled with glue. So I'm going to see how this works overnight. But this is the last of the modifications on this video, and I will show you how this worked out in another one. So thanks for watching. Back upstairs in a jiff. See how it's sagging? This is what we're trying to fix over here. I've glued it. I stuck glue up in there with the syringe. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed all these little mods. It was quite the collection of things I've done and the first little walk around of first seeing Lorraine, the car, that's her name. And so, yeah, please check out MODversation.com because I've gotten that up and running with the help of a good buddy. And yeah, we're getting this channel going. There's a lot of videos up here, some shorts, some playlists. Please check out the channel even more, subscribe, like, and just enjoy. If there's something you want to see me do to the car, please let me know in the comments. And search the other ones because you might need to be doing something that I've already done, and I might have shown you some good tips and tricks. So please enjoy. I've learned a lot from YouTube. I hope you learn a lot from me. Until next time, thanks for watching.